What is good, everybody? We are back once again with another JayNAS podcast. This is episode number 2. Right here tonight, we are going to get you all up to date on the latest PC and console gaming news. And of course, as always, a pleasure, joined by my good friend Jason616 here, our retro and Nintendo gaming expert. He's going to update you on all the latest part. Yeah, man. Always a pleasure to have you here, buddy. How you feeling tonight, man?
Yeah, man. Good. Yeah, it's been good. And got some actual news this time from... it's been a big week, actually, so I've got a few things going out that have been announced from the retro world as well, which it's weird because I'm finding news from the retro world now in 2019, so...
That's awesome, man.
But there is some cool stuff out for this week as well, so what have you been up to, man? What have you been playing recently?
Well,
what have you been playing?
Mate, I'm just doing my usual trashing around on, I'm still doing my usual Rocket League stuff, which I'll touch on a little bit in a little while. Usual Apex and, starting to pick up a bit on Axiom. I've been playing that last couple of weeks, but just been playing bits and pieces in that. I'm looking at downloading Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice tonight, so I'm looking forward to getting to that over the next couple of days, a couple of weeks or something like that. I'm looking forward to getting to that, but yeah, man, but I'm really here to see what you're going to talk about tonight, mate. So what are your main topics that you're going to talk about tonight, buddy?
Alright, cool. So what I got on the Nintendo news bandwagon is some updated games for the Switch to come out, so I've got a few big uns there, so that'll be good. Also, we touched on it a bit last week, and that is the Sega Mega Drive / JayNAS Mini that's coming out. This week we've actually had the first ever, or the first 10 games announced for that have come out as well, so we'll touch on that.
Great.
News from the Pokemon world as well, with some, they're throwing something out for the fans to get involved in regards to Sword and Shield, which have already been announced, but yeah, I'll talk more on that, as well as Ranker, which have actually updated us with the top 25 People's Choice fighting games as well.
Oh.
So that's what I've got on the cards, some good stuff coming up, as well as a nice fun fact on what happened on this day in gaming at the end for you as well. Okay. Kind of threw you with that one last week, and you said come back with something, so I have.
Excellent, mate. I'm looking forward to it, man. That's really good news, dude. Well, you'll be happy to know. So a couple of things I want to talk about with you tonight. As the first thing, man. Something probably the most exciting news recently is announcement for a new Star Wars game, which I'll get into in a little while. Prodeus, you'll be actually quite happy to hear about Prodeus, exactly what it is. You'll be quite excited to hear that.
Cool, man.
So, of course, more, as I mentioned before, more information about Rocket League, just with the new Rocket League Pass that's just come out. Axiom Soccer, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, Axiom, or I'm just going to go with Axiom. Axiom Soccer, which I'll explain in a little while. And, of course, a couple of honourable mentions with some things that I want to talk about, which, just not really too much info, but just a couple of people where they go, oh, that sounds really cool. So, guys, I hope you got all your ears turned on. Are they ready to bleed? Because you're about to get updated by the JayNAS podcast. Let's get straight into it. Jay?
There we go. All right, you kick it off, man.
Kick it off. All right, I'll kick it off. All right, so as I mentioned before, I'm very excited to say that there has been an announcement. There's been a rumour that there's going to be some sort of announcement of a leak. So it's rumours of announcements of leaks. Ooh. It's really weird. Saturday, April 13th, of the new Star Wars, apparently it's going to be known as Jedi Fallen Order. So it's being created, developed by Respawn, the same people that did Apex Legends and the Titanfall series. Of course, they're partnered up with EA as usual. They wouldn't be too far ahead without EA behind them. And, of course, Lucasfilm as well. So when you know Lucasfilm is involved, you know it's going to be something good. So before I go any further, for people that don't know much, there's actually been 2 game cancellations by EA about a single-player, linear-style, open-world game, Star Wars game, very similar to in the past, like in the early noughties, we had a couple of games out called Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and I've played those on PC, like in the early noughties, and they were great games. They were awesome games. So basically, they're looking at doing something like that. So like an open world, or possibly like linear. So maybe like Witcher 3. It's going to be third person. It'll have to be third person.
Oh, wow, cool.
So it's going to be something like Witcher 3, but Star Wars style. Or it's going to be more like linear, sort of more towards like Last of Us or something like that. So, but basically, it's said that you're going to be a It's going to be announced this Saturday, April 13, by Vince Zampella. He's going to be announcing the whole thing, and it's basically the whole game is supposed to be set between the Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. And you're basically your Padawan survived the Order 66, and basically, like I said, it's going to be rumoured that it's got to be some sort of open world or third-person linear, like Knights of the Old Republic from many years ago. So Respawn had the banner up on their website about a week or so ago. I actually saw it with my own eyes, and I was like, Star Wars, what's going on here? And I didn't really think much of it, but I wish I'd jumped on it right there and then, because no one actually had mentioned anything about it, and I saw it on their website. So I was like, I didn't think much of it. I thought maybe something to do with another Battlefront, maybe. But so I just sort of dismissed it. But no, really exciting stuff, man. So yeah, man, that's topic one. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with that on Saturday, and hopefully we'll cover more on that maybe next week. So yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Well, this thing is like I've seen the original 3 Star Wars movies, not obviously episode 1, 2, and 3, it'd be episode 4, 5, and 6, and they were damn good movies, but the first game of Star Wars I actually played was Star Wars Shadows of the Empire on the 64, where your dash is a dash render.
That's right.
That was a pretty damn cool game.
It was.
And that was my very first Star Wars game, and then I did end up playing Pod Racer as well. But the thing I remember about Shadows of the Empire is those bloody speeder bike races.
Yeah.
I could never control the damn things, man. They were out of control.
Yeah, man.
But,
that was a great game.
Yeah, man, but like they do have. Star Wars do have some good games coming out, but like you said, an open world one would probably be a first for Star Wars in that realm, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Like I don't think they've done an open world.
Well, no.
From what I can think of.
But that's the thing, though, is that EA is the company that quoted that single player games are dead. Everyone wants multiplayer. So basically, like EA DICE were going the way of a single player open world Star Wars style game, but they cancelled it because they just couldn't the rumour, again, this is what other people have said, the rumours are they just couldn't find a way to monetize it. There's no way to make money in single player games. So basically EA has done the typical thing, putting words in consumers' mouths to say that you don't want single player games, you want multiplayer games. Multiplayer games encourages people to pay to win or buy cosmetics because other people will see it instead of the whole single player embrace. And of course then you get people like Bethesda that have made Skyrim, then you got CD Projekt Red that's made Witcher 3, Naughty Dog that's made Last of Us, and they're all going, how the fuck are single player games dead when we're one of the most popular games of all time? So simple things like that.
But EA as well. EA do a lot of the sports games, which is very much multiplayer.
Yeah, man.
So they would scream that single player is dead because EA. When I think of EA, I think of your Maddens, your FIFAs, your all that kind of stuff. So it's like. Well, they might swing that way because majority of their games are that way. I think even the wrestling games have gone through EA now. Yeah, they're not THQ anymore.
Yeah, see, your EA had.
Or are they 2K Sports? I can't remember.
Well, EA, I'm pretty sure EA, because EA did
UFC, didn't they?
They did Fight Night, which is boxing, and they did UFC as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've done little bits and pieces. Of course, EA. They did do a basketball game, but of course 2K did NBA 2K, which is a shitload more popular than NBA than EA's NBA. And of course the long running series of Tiger Woods, that was very popular with EA as well. So Tiger Woods is pretty good.
I have kept up with the FIFA stuff because I'm originally from the UK, so I've always followed the football. I know I say football and not soccer because I'm so used to English parents. I grew up with that, but it's I still, for me, I put them on when it's just in relaxed mode, when I'm just what do I slap on to play. I don't really go and pick up an EA game to really go through it because it's one of the games that you put on just to relax and not really take all too seriously. I spend so much time pissing about on FIFA creating people that were just monstrosities. And you know what I mean? Like, it's, but if they're gonna put their hands on Star Wars, man, they've got to create a bit of a gem there.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna have to.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, look, I was quite relieved to see Respawn has something to do with it, because Respawn. Again, rumours have said that EA had very little to do with the development of Apex. So if Respawn goes, if you put too many of your fingers in this pie, EA, you will completely destroy this game. So let us take the reins and let us work with Lucasfilms, because Lucasfilm owns the rights of Star Wars, and of course George Lucas wouldn't let it be completely destroyed. So and of course Disney was rumoured to pull EA's rights to Star Wars, but then they didn't. They've come out and said that they have full faith in EA to develop proper Star Wars games, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of mixed emotions in there, but the fact that they've got Respawn to jump in is probably a good thing, to really sort of be the Rudolph on the Santa sleigh. Yeah, man, like I was saying to myself earlier, the Respawn would be sort of like the Rudolph on the Santa sleigh, in this sort of magical game, which a lot of people will be excited for. But we will all know exactly what it's going to be all about pretty much this Saturday, April 13th. So I'll be looking out for that, and hopefully we'll cover it on our next podcast next week, man. But, mate, I can't wait to hear your first topic. Let's do it.
All right, cool. So we've got some Switch games for release. So first one comes out in 5 days' time. The Nintendo Switch is doing a remaster of Final Fantasy X and X2.
Ooh.
So that's going to... Yeah, so when I look at this list, man, like Nintendo have got some real crackers coming out. Like they've got Cuphead, which Cuphead has gone huge.
Yeah, Cuphead.
Cuphead. I've never played Cuphead. I've never.
You got to do it.
So
you got to do it.
Yeah,
mate,
I know.
Awesome
I've heard all
content.
good things.
Mate, your rage that you're renowned to have, mate. Your rage,
hidden rage.
You've got a hidden gold mine within Cuphead, mate. Embrace the head of Cup and put that shit on your channel, mate. It will be awesome. So and who knows, man? We could do it. It's not. I don't think. I heard they were going to do it on an online co-op, but it's still not online co-op as far as I'm aware.
Switch are going that way. Switch. Here's the thing: is Switch are taking some of the old retro games, and like that you'd get on the NES and SNES, and they're taking them to online co-op or online multiplayer, which is crazy because some of those games are dying for it, and there's no way to play SNES games really that way. And there's been talks about possibly the first Super Bomberman going as a 4-player multiplayer on the Switch online. But that's only a rumour, I'm not sure. But along with Cuphead, you've also got some other stuff coming out in the next couple of weeks. Final Fantasy 13, the Zodiac Age, as well as... Where is it? The Resident Evil Origins collection is coming out for Switch as well. They've announced Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh yeah,
which one did very, very well on the Wii U, but
absolutely.
This is the one that shocks me. Is Nintendo are actually going to release Mortal Kombat 11?
Really?
Which and that is strange for me because they are going away from the family-friendly games. I didn't think the Switch was going to go Mortal Kombat. I know PlayStation and Xbox, but the Switch as well?
Yeah.
That's the first game I can really think of that they've taken away from PlayStation, the newer age. You know what I mean? Like Mortal Kombat 11, and I know. I love MK, so they're going with 11, and I can't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I could just see it now. I mean, you've got a Switch. Oh, let's see your game library. Oh, you've got Super Mario Maker, you've got Yoshi's Island, you've got Smash Brothers, you've got Mortal Kombat 11. So I know. It's weird as well, and they're releasing it. It's just at $60. Which I think they'll probably have a lot of DLC fighters and bump up that price because they will. But when you look at the Smashes that come out and they're priced at $89, and MK's gone for $60. So looking forward to that. I mean, I probably wouldn't get it on the Switch anyway, but I was having a conversation with my brother during the week, and that is the fact that there are some games that Sony are covering. They're not showing certain scenes or holding back because of too much gore or too much this or too much that, but yet again Nintendo with the same game is showing no scenes, which you would question, because going back 2 years ago or 3 years ago, Nintendo would just be like, nah, we're here for the kids. But they're now pushing boundaries that Sony don't want to go to, so you never know, it might be better to get MK11 on the Switch as opposed to
the PlayStation or the Xbox, but who knows? But yeah, that's just one that shocked me. I was like, whoa, MK.
It is,
but we've got some cool releases coming up. I mean, I've never really played Final Fantasy. It wasn't really my thing. In saying that, I hear a lot of good things about it. But yeah, so we've got a few cool games coming up there. But yeah, MK11 was just a standout for me. I was like, holy hell, like that's crazy that's coming out. But there's obviously some other games announced as well, which I'll get to later on in regards to some updates on Pokemon. But yeah, but that's some Switch stuff that's coming out. Oh, also, I'll throw it out there as well. Dead by Daylight's going to Switch.
Oh, well.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So, along with MK, he's chucked Dead by Daylight in there. I mean, Nintendo is really starting to not be the family-friendly console. I mean, can you imagine, like, playing Dead by Daylight on just a handheld console?
That's...
Just sitting out in public, on your wife, I'm just playing Dead by Daylight. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell?
You're playing, it's... I mean, people play it on the train and there's like a 6-year-old kid sitting next to him watching it. Awesome. Jason Voorhees comes up and just goes, literally turns a girl upside down, pulls her legs apart. She does the splits inward out. So awesome.
It's Dead by Daylight. There you go. So I think that's coming in the fall. But what the hell? What's Nintendo are really up in the ante, man. They're up in the ante.
No, it's almost speechless. Honestly, that's
I know. I know.
I'd expect to hear for Nintendo. But yeah, all right, man. All right, so I'll move on to my second topic. All right, so I discovered today there's a game in development. It's going to be released in early access springtime here in Australia or fall over in North America. The game is called Prodeus, and basically it's a retro-style, old-school graphics first-person shooter game. It runs nice and smoothly at 60 frames a second, but it is very, 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 and I mean very, uncanny-like, strongly inspired by Doom and Quake. Oh yeah, man, you should see it. It's like you're watching like a. I thought to myself, how would I explain this game to you so you could visualize it without seeing the actual trailer? Can you imagine Doom 1 and Doom 2, so with the old school retro graphics, but with sort of a bit more cleaner, sharper graphics like Doom 3? If you imagine all three of those games getting drunk one night and having a massive orgy, and then a couple months later they have this love child hybrid game called Prodeus. So basically, it's a first-person shooter. It moves really well. It's got nice heavy metal music to it. It's so much like Doom. It's not funny. It's got blue keys, yellow keys, red keys. You've got to open up doors. All the enemies, they look like the guys from Doom. There's all the little health.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the blue siphon health bottles. You know what I mean? It's basically like an enhanced graphical feature of Doom 1 and 2, but it's better looking than Doom 2, but a little bit sort of pixelated than Doom 3, if that makes sense. So it looks beautiful. It looks great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to check that out. The early access comes out at the end of the year. But the people that were doing a bit of a review on it, they quoted something that described the game, which I thought was quite nice. They described it as a smart hybrid style that evokes the genre's pixel art origins without sacrificing modern lighting rendering techniques. So that sounds pure poetry to me. I mean, I have no idea what it means. I've got no clue what he's talking about, but sounds really, really good. But I saw the trailer. Check it out yourself, man. It just looks amazing. And you being a retro guy yourself, honestly, you'll be like, this is Doom. It's like someone just got bored and started making a Doom 3 in 2000 back in like 1998 or something like that. But it never got to air, never got released, and this is it. It's like it's like
crazy.
It's like some kid's gone down to his grandfather's basement and pulled this game out. So, Granddad, what's this? This what it's like, man. You got to check it out. It's awesome. But man, that's topic 2 for me, man. But no, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Well, I mean, adding on to that as well, like how you said, like it's a new game that's being released like in 2019, but they're trying to reprise that classic look from about 20 years prior. And there's some games that do that. I mean, just to throw a couple out there. I mean, have you heard of Hotline Miami?
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that. It's got the whole, up from above GDA, original GDA style, and, you're shooting and going ballistic like that. Like, that, and I think they did a follow-up to that. I've not played a follow-up, I want to. But, yeah, and even, like, Party Hard, it's all pixelated. I don't know if you've heard of Party Hard as well. It's just pretty much you just got to murder a bunch of people at a party. But it's like,
rings
it's
a bell,
all,
actually. Yeah, I remember seeing through that in the Steam library a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's funny because even though they're being created now, they're still going back to like your 8-bit, your 16-bit looks because they just freaking work. They just work. Like, it's sometimes I like chucking on Hotline just to shoot up, or Party Hard just to, just have fun with it, because the storyline isn't so like such story driven that you can just enjoy what you're doing with the gameplay. Because I feel like now a lot of people are just trying to put so much into the story that once you complete the story, it doesn't have a lasting appeal. And I feel like a lot of the older style games just had that longer lasting appeal. They had a story to follow, but they put more time and effort into, the game, how the game will still live out years later, because you could turn it on and just play it from the start, and it has the same old feel. It doesn't matter if you've been through the story once, twice, 3 times. You play it for its quality. You don't play it for its story. I mean, Call of Duty, right? I've got a few of the Call of Duty games behind me that I've played storyline-wise, played through them. I haven't put them on since. It's like, I don't want to do the story or the campaign again. I just don't feel the need. I know it now. So much time was put into the story. Like Bomberman, the first Bomberman game, you can complete that game in 50 minutes, right? And I'm not a speedrunner. But I've probably completed that game upwards of about 50, 60 times by now. But I don't do it for the, I don't do it because of the story. It's the same. I do it because it's just fun. It's not like I need to go to the end, blow up the boss, go to the next stage, blow up the boss, go to the next stage, that's it. It might seem repetitive, but it's so enjoyable that it doesn't feel repetitive. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like every time you put it on, it's a completely different experience. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased towards retro stuff, but with the newer games being made to look retro, proves that those things just stand the test of time. And it'll be interesting in years to come what PS4 games or PS3 games or what PC games will actually stand the test of time.
This is true, man. I mean, you've got a really good point. And I do agree with you, of course, man. I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. You don't need to explain the feeling that you feel when you pick up these games and play. And I totally agree with you. I mean, still my favourite games to this day, the old school, pixelated games. And I've got quite a few games in my library that are like pixelated, like Axiom Verge was a platform shooter, which reminded me a lot of Turrican 2 on Amiga. And it had a bit of a Darkseid feel as well. See, growing up, I played on my Amiga. I used to play a lot of point and click games. I used to love point and click adventures. I used to love them. Don't know what it was about them. So, Beneath the Steel Sky, Darkseid, Hook, all the Monkey Islands. I loved them, absolutely loved them. And there's a game called Punch Club that you can get by who did Punch Club? I can't remember. I can't think of the name of the one. Farm 51. Yeah, Farm 51 did something else. I'm an idiot. So Punch Club, that was good. That's retro style pixelated graphics, but it's point and click, which is really cool. They did another one called Graveyard or something like that. But yeah, man, totally agree.
I mean, not running down games that come out nowadays, because I still love games. I mean, the new Smash Ultimate is insanely good, and Super Mario Odyssey is insanely good, and even like Dead by Daylight, I enjoy that. That's great fun. And there are new games that come out now that are still good, but I don't know where they'll be in 20 years time. It'd be interesting to see, because I mean, I guess you can still pick up a cartridge, but these games are all in a digital world, so you won't really be able to pick them up and see them in the shop and go, oh man, that's cool. It'll be interesting. Like, maybe they'll still be online for like $1. But I guess the good thing about them is they'll still be playable, because if they're digital, they'll always be digital.
Exactly. This is true, man.
So
this is true, and it's another Miles and Kylo game I'm playing at the moment. It reminds me so much of Wonder Boy back on arcade. It's just got that side-scrolling feel, just trying to get through little puzzle, jumping through bits and pieces and just not die. That's a great fun game. So basic, so simple. You can just pick it up and play it and just go through the stages. It's great. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Anyway, talking about old school stuff. Well, my next point, man. We've announced the Sega Genesis Mini or the Mega Drive Mini, whichever place in the world you're listening from, whether it's in Europe or wherever the hell. It's got two names. It was always Mega Drive for us, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They have actually announced, or they've dropped the first 10 games that are going to be on the Mini.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's got a release date of September 19, which is 3 days before my 30th birthday, so I think I know what I'm going to be getting. But, yeah, so 10 games they have announced, obviously starting big with the original Sonic the Hedgehog. It would be dumb if they didn't.
Yeah.
It would be silly if they didn't.
Of course.
They've got Echo the Dolphin.
Right.
So that's a class. That is a class. Castlevania Bloodlines.
Ooh.
Good.
Ooh.
Castlevania is good.
Mm-hmm.
Space Harrier 2. Don't know what Space Harrier 2 or what Shining Force were. I got my Sega late. Then they got Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Right.
Comic Zone. Altered Beast.
Altered Beast, yeah, I know Altered Beast.
Yeah, Altered Beast, sorry, yeah, Altered Beast.
Yep.
Gunstar Heroes and Toe Jam and Earl.
Oh, Toe Jam and Earl.
Yeah, I was hoping Toe Jam and Earl would be there. That's a game that we were thinking of Sega games last week, of what we'd hoped to be on there, and that was one that I missed off the list. That would be really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about Altered Beast. That was a good classic. I mean, just has that... Altered Beast was great. That was really good. I remember playing it on Amiga. I thought that was really awesome on Amiga. But now better on Sega.
I mean, that's if that's things to come. It's looking good already. I mean, any Castlevania is good. Castlevania will be great. Toe Jam and Earl, great. Sonic the Hedgehog, great. Echo the Dolphin in its own right was great. A few there that I don't know of, but I'll keep an eye on this because over the coming weeks I'll see if I drop any more and see what it's going for. Price ain't looking good on this one though, man. Price ain't looking good. They reckon it's going to retail at $140 for us, so it's going to be the most expensive Mini to come out. So I don't own any of them
for the Mini and one controller. Do you get the adapters with it this time?
I believe it comes with two controllers.
Two controllers, because didn't the Nintendo or the SNES Mini or something like that, or was it the Sony didn't come with a HDMI, or didn't it come with a cable or something like that? Was that correct?
Yeah, it's the PS1, I believe. Right. The PS1, and it was such a shocking way because it just didn't transition. It didn't spend the time on converting those great looking games, and it was a shocker. It was a shocker.
Oh, definitely.
But anyway, it's retailing high. It comes at two controllers for us, but I think it's retailing high because we haven't heard anything from the Sega camp in a very, very long time. So they're probably trying to get themselves back on the board. But in saying that, they've got a lot of serious gems there. I'm waiting to hear stuff like Golden Axe or Road Rash be announced, because then I'll really get excited. Because there were some great games, and I'm sure you'll see more Sonic. I just hope they don't overload it with just Sonic. Yeah. But I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so we've got our first 10 games announced, and there's some pretty good ones in there. So it's looking good, and hopefully with the release of these Sega, I mean, there's going to be people out there just collecting the minis for the hell of it, But I didn't get the mini SNES or the mini NES or the mini PS1 because I've got them. And yes, I've got a Mega Drive, but my Mega Drives always went through aerial and not your composite cables. So I might pick up a mini so I can play some of these games for my channel, which would be pretty damn cool. So I'm actually looking at getting myself one of these, and I didn't think I would ever get a mini. But this got me excited. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this, and we'll update the podcast once we hear more of what's been announced. So yeah, we'll keep my eye on it and we'll see what happens.
Cool, man. Cool. Awesome, man. Mate, I'm pretty excited to hear more about that as well. So that's pretty cool, man. I mean, I never got any other minis as well. I wanted to, but I never really got around to getting in myself. One day I might start collecting stuff like that. Well, I think once I start getting my own room again and bits and pieces, like I said, I'm cramped up in my bedroom here, but I get my own room, I start collecting stuff. That's definitely something on the cards for me as well, man. But yeah, I'm excited to hear about stuff like that myself, buddy.
Yeah, no, it'll be good, man. It'll be good. So, anyway, let's move back into your world.
Right,
let's do what you've got.
So, topic number 3. So, of course, we are now moving into my area of expertise. I am your local expert when it comes to Rocket League. That is my main game. I play that game about 3 hours a day, every single day, pretty much. I've had a little bit of a break the last couple of weeks, but the reason why I'm talking about it tonight is because Rocket Pass 3 is coming out April 17. So for people that aren't really overly familiar, Rocket League, of course, is one of the most advanced mechanically based, arguably one of the most advanced mechanically based games ever made. So it's not easy to play Rocket League, especially when you start progressing and start getting good at it. And I know
we had this conversation as well, man, because I've never played it and I really want to play it.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I recommend everyone to play it. But I tell you, I mean, like, it's the most simplest game ever. You drive a car and hit a ball into a goal, right? But as you progress, it's not easy. It's how you hit the ball into the goal is what you have to keep. You have to keep improving. It becomes
a skill-based game.
Yeah, it does, 100%. And so Rocket Pass 3 is coming out, but the big thing, what a lot of people actually don't realise a lot with Rocket League, is that it's massively materialised. So there are all these different kind of cars that you get, and they all pretty much do the same thing. All the different cars are different shapes, and they have their own hitboxes. There's only about 4 or 5 different categorised hitboxes. So there's about 30 different cars that you can get. And there's about 4 or 5 different kinds of hitboxes. So basically what I mean by hitboxes, obviously when the car hits the ball, it will make the ball do different things. It makes the ball behave differently. So hitting the ball in the air with a car will make the ball do differently. Hitting the ball on the ground will make with a different car does something else again. You can dribble with the ball, and how your car dribbles with the ball is determined by its hitboxes as well. Some people find it easier with certain cars. Some people find it easier to air dribble. Things like that. So, but it's massively, heavily materialised. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck it on my screen right now. I'm going to be going through, as you can see, I'll be going through some of my options. You'll see in my inventory right now that there's plenty of wheels, there's toppers, there's decals, there's mystery decals, there's goal explosions, as you can probably see on the screen now. And they actually are all worth money because you get these loot boxes again. I'll bring it up on the screen now. You can see these loot boxes. You can open these loot boxes that cost keys to open up. So you can get 10 keys for about like $15 or something like that, $20 or whatever, and it costs 1 key to open up 1 crate, and it's random. So the crate is filled up with crap, but there's some good stuff in there, and there's some really rare stuff in there as well, like black market stuff, and it's actually worth money. The more rare the items are, they're actually worth money, and you get different coloured items as well. So there are different kinds of wheels, but there's about 10 different colours of the one wheel, and some colours are more rare than others. So so like titanium white, Zombas, titanium white, Dracos, titanium white, other wheels are usually, the titanium white Octane is quite an expensive car as well. So things like, and people trade them on websites, which again, I'll probably bring that up now as well on simple websites, and people exchange them for keys or other items. So there are actually people that make like a side hustle living with getting keys for cheap, opening up loot crates, getting random items, and then swapping them for other random items which they can somehow eventually upgrade to, and eventually they have this massive inventory full of expensive items, and people actually make like a side hustle living out of it. Of course, Psionics, the makers of Rocket League, don't like people exchanging the items for real money. They want you to exchange it from materialistic to materialistic. They've banned people, like Picapixel was caught for swapping his items for money. You can swap it for keys, but you can't swap it for money. So he got caught for swapping for money and he got banned. Little things like that. But what people don't realise is how heavily materialised Rocket League is, and it's actually quite a huge feature which a lot of people don't realise how well you can modify your car to make it look really, really cool. And of course, the Rocket Pass has a lot to do with that. So the Rocket Pass opens up a lot of tiers for you to get some unique items that no one else, no other regular players can get. Only people that buy the Rocket Pass obviously can. So you'll get unique wheels, unique decals, unique toppers. You'll get brand like a branding under your name. You get like these titles, these branding titles. As well, so people that know what I'm talking about will be quite excited about it. I'm not a big fan of investing in the material side of things. I keep mine basic. It's just me. I'm just not super big onto it. I don't mind getting some nice wheels and some nice decal, but I'm not really super into anything else. I've got a couple of expensive items in my inventory, which are worth a bit of money, but nothing really too special. But there are some people that are just nuts about it, and they're on the trade websites all day. There's for a limited time. On the April 16th for 24 to 48 hours, they will open the esports shop. So you can buy items specifically for the professional esports teams for Rocket League. So Cloud9, Dignitas, they're pronounced. G2 or Flipside. So you can buy some of their products. So you can get like the Cloud9 decal for your car. You can get bits and pieces like that, mate. So you can get
cool.
all these esports brandings to put on your ball through your Alpha console and all that sort of stuff, which is cool. Bits and pieces like that. So yeah, that's pretty exciting stuff as well, man. So, but like I said, that's Rocket League's my game. It's a game I dream of turning pro at. Whether it will happen or not, I don't know. But I mean, like
stick at it, man. You'll get there.
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, I've been playing it for 2.5 years. I've done about 900 hours on it now. So, and I don't plan to stop. You hit plateaus, mate. You get really good at it, and then you just hit sort of rock bottom for a while, and then you got to go and practice. You got to go and improve, and then stick at it. And then, of course, the next big thing for me is trying to find a decent team to play with regularly as well. So things like that, which again, that's something else I'm going to talk about in a little while in my honourable mentions. But apart from that, man, that's my next topic I've just ticked off, mate. But what else have you got for me, man?
Sweet, man. Yeah, I mean, just to finish off at yours, would you say Rocket League is a sports game or a racing game?
It's a sports game. So that's quite a big topic that's been talked about before as well. It's definitely not a racing game because you're not trying to beat your opponent over a finish line. You're literally...
It's more of a football match.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's the type of game that Rocket League call it, where you're hitting the ball into the goal, is actually known as soccer. So SOCAR. So... and they've got other soccer, and there's other modes as well where they've got hoops where you sort of the gravity of the ball is a little bit softer and you're trying to hit it into like a hoop, and you've got like an ice hockey puck as well. But the main game is standard, which is 3v3, and you're all trying to hit the ball into a goal and all that sort of stuff. So that's the beautiful thing about Rocket League, is that it's just so unique. It doesn't really have its own genre, and it's probably one of the only games of its kind that I like that. And there are games that have come out that are similar, but they're nowhere near physics based. So this game's very heavily physics orientated, to a point where there are so much that can interpret the factor of the outcome of how your car moves, how the ball moves, towards lag input, frames per second. Even having lower frame rate on your computer can actually affect how you hit the ball. Like you will see you hitting the ball somewhere, but in the game it's gone somewhere else. Just having, and it's literally a split second, and it makes a big difference. So. And that's what I mean. It's arguably the most mechanically advanced, physics heavily based game probably ever made, and it's quite unique in that factor. And the other beautiful thing about it is that because of the ranking system, when you play competitive, you won't be ranked with people that are so much 100 times better than you, because you'll just get slaughtered. Because there are literally things that they're doing that you physically can't do. It's hard to explain. It's part of the game, but it's not. Like when you play a first-person shooter, there are people running around shooting. Of course, there's a couple of things that they're good at doing, like they're really good at aiming. There might be a couple of mechanical things that your character can do that you haven't quite learnt yet, but there really isn't a massive advantage. I mean, the best players can still get killed by, someone that plays a first-person shooter regularly, and it's quite happening. But if one of the world's best players was to play with someone that's been playing the game for maybe, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 hours, which is respectably enough investment time into a game to let you to sort of have a feel if you like the game. If you're playing a game for about 50 hours, you like it. So if you get one of the world's best players, like say Squishy Muffins or Fairy Peak, well, these guys have got 3,000, 4,000 hours of gameplay. These guys would do a one-on-one. It would literally, it's hard, it's even, you can't even explain it. It'd be literally a slaughter. The guy wouldn't stand a chance because there are things that the other guy would be doing that he physically cannot do, because A, he doesn't know how to do it, and 2, he just neurologically can't adapt to actually doing it and how to get the car to work, because you have to press about 3 or 4 different buttons at once to be doing certain things. Yeah. So, and I mean, and that's the other thing as well. And I might as well quickly go on to my next topic while I'm on it, because it's based around Rocket.
Just go for it.
It's based around Rocket League anyway, mate. So there's a game that's just come out free to play called Axiom Soccer. Now it's supposed to be inspired by Rocket League, but basically you're a what's it called? What do they call them? A drone. You're a drone. And you're flying around. Yeah, you're flying around, and you're trying to hit a ball into a goal, but you're shooting projectiles. That's what you hit the ball with. So it's usually a car that hits the ball in Rocket League, but this time the drone is shooting projectile, which hits the ball into a goal. So it's free to play according to Earthbound Games, which are the producers, the developers of the game. It's free to play because they have the ambition to make it very heavily cosmetic monetization, just like Fortnite and Apex. So, I mean, same with Rocket League, it's very heavily cosmetic as well. So, they're trying to get that popular to get that heavily monetized as well. But compared to Rocket League, it's nothing. I'm going to look at it later on during the week, check it out because it's free to play at the moment. So I'm going to check it out, see exactly what it's all about, see if there's any sort of point of interest. But it definitely wouldn't knock anything like Rocket League off. It's too different of a game. So
it's too out there. Out there, and they have the DeLorean from Back to the Future in it, I think. Don't they? There's a skin for the DeLorean, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right, man. They've got the DeLorean, which is really awesome. They got DeLorean, Batmobile. They got both Batmobiles. They got 3 Batmobiles. They've got the Batman vs Superman Batmobile. They've got the Dark Knight Batmobile, and they've got the original 1987 Batmobile. No, 1989, the Michael Keaton Batmobile.
Would they have like the General from what was that, Dukes of Hazzard? Or
they
like
do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and what about what's it called from Knight Rider? The Hazzard.
I'm not. I think they do. So I think they do. But they don't call it. They call it Batmobile because they got the rights for it. But they get cars, renowned cars like this. There's the Skyline. The Skyline from Fast and the Furious is in there. As well.
Man, it'll be awesome to see the original Ghostbusters Ecto-1.
Yeah,
that would be mental.
Yeah, they've got one of the van only for Xbox players. It's a cosmetic thing, so Xbox players can see it. Like they've got that clown van from Twisted Metal.
Awesome.
Yeah, they've got it in there, but it's only for Xbox players, and only Xbox players can see it. So because it's a cross-platform game, I can't see if someone's playing that vehicle. I'll just see a Merc. So they'll see their skin, but I can't see their skin. And neither can a PlayStation player. So
they'll drop a mystery machine in there as well.
Yeah, man.
The Scooby-Doo mystery machine.
Yeah,
they can get some classic games. Hey, they can get some classic cars.
Oh, absolutely. And I think
they'll keep going, man. They'll keep going.
I think you'll find that they'll try to keep doing things like that. Because there's rumours that Rocket League was going to go free to play about 4 or 5 months ago, but it never got around to it because they think that they're still selling the game quite a lot and they're making enough money from it. There's no need for it to go free to play, but they would get a lot more people playing it if it was free to play, in my opinion. So, yeah, man, it's a great game all around, and it's very close to my heart. I actually plan to get a Rocket League tattoo.
When you're passionate about games, like there's some games that you're just always going to be passionate about.
100%.
You'll big that up for forever and a day.
Yeah, man. I plan to get the Rocket League symbol tattooed on my calf one day. So,
there you go.
One day I will. So, I'll do that if I get into like a major part of the scene or like pro scene. That will be, when people go to the Olympics, they get the Olympic tattoo. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he'll know Rocket League.
Yeah, I'll get the fucking Rocket League thing, and I'll show that bastard off. People are like, what is that? It's like, fucking Rocket League, bro. So I'll be like, don't fuck with me, mate. I'll play Rocket League.
Well, it's like me. I mean, the tattoos I do have is all dedicated to music and stuff that's inspired me and helped me through a lot of times. And more recently, video games have kind of done the same thing. And you know, I'm actually thinking about getting a Triforce tattoo or the Hylian crest on me. So that's up for consideration, because obviously Triforce is courage, wisdom and power, so they're three real importance. And even if you're not into the game, like, they're three really cool things that Triforce is based off of. Courage, wisdom and power, and I feel like that is really important, especially as a motto for my life, you know. Anyway, so you know, video games just get a hold of you, and like I think I've read something to you a couple of weeks ago where people say, like, video games, you just waste your life away. But, like, it's the same as reading a book. Yeah. You except you're actually in it.
Yep.
You're not looking, you know, from a book's perspective, you're looking into someone else's experience. But with video games, it's a way to relax, but you're in your own experience. You're in your own world, and you make your decisions. Yeah, exactly. So what's the difference? What's the difference?
You read your own book when it comes to playing games.
Yeah, man, for sure. So, you know, yeah, you'll get that tattoo. Trust me, you'll get it. If you want it, you'll get it. If you want it, you get it.
Definitely, mate. But yeah, cool. that covers a few things. I've just got my honourable mentions left, mate. But mate, honestly, what have you got for me? What else have you got, man?
All right, cool. Pokemon. Okay, so, are you much of a Pokemon fan?
Funny enough, I was 15 when the first season of Pokemon came out, and I got into the first season of Pokemon. But after that, I didn't.
Yeah, see, I was up there with the first 250, and from there I kind of just lost track. I did get the Pokemon Yellow on the Game Boy Color, and then I ended up with Pokemon Gold, and after that, it got too it got so many, and then Pokemon started becoming ice creams and that, and you know, it just left me. But the original 150 is where it's at, the 151 is where it's at. But I mean, they did drop the trailer to Sword and Shield, which is coming out later on this year. With the success of Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, they had to drop something. I'm really, really disappointed. I'm going to say it now. They've pretty much just used the same engine for Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. It's a real big middle finger to the people that were waiting for that Pokemon open world game. Where the hell is that at? They've said they've been doing that. Then they drop this, and it's kind of like the same thing. And to be fair, it's going to sell well because, one, it's Pokemon, and two, why fix something that's not broken? Yeah, true. Those games have always worked. So, you know, I'm not really going to be that invested in Sword and Shield myself. Because, like I said, I got Let's Go Eevee for the nostalgia and the 151, and that was damn cool. But I'm not going to play through the same thing with a bunch of Pokemon I don't really know, and I'm so out of the loop. So, but something really, really cool which they're doing, and that is that they're throwing it out for the fans to get a chance to name a new move in the Pokemon Sword and Shield games. So they're actually throwing it out for someone to come up with a move that they will put in the game, which is pretty cool. They're doing it worldwide, so absolutely anyone can enter, but obviously they have their I guess, what's it called? You have to fit between the guidelines of what they want, so you can't call it poo throw, you know, like. Yeah.
Mate, it'd be someone Japanese, 100%. It'd be someone Japanese.
Yeah, they'll get it.
And it'd be something like Shibotashi, and it'll be like, which means shining moon on mountain rock or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they're saying they can be submitted in katakana, hiragana, or English, so you can submit in English. They did say though it can't be more than 8 characters in length. It's a steel type move. It's a special and does 140 damage, and the effect is the major damage, does major damage, but reduces users' hit points by 50%. So the winner is actually going to get a copy of both games, and they're going to have their move name featured, and will get their name spawned in the credits of the game. Yep. So you'll get physically announced as that being your move. And 20 that they like that didn't get it, they'll give you a copy of one of the games either way. So yeah, they're throwing it out to their audience to say, hey, name a Pokemon move. And I'm sure a lot of us have come up with something like that in the past, I'm sure.
Definitely. Yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, that cool. That they announced that dropped yesterday that they're going to do that. So that's coming up. There's no, I don't know, was there a release date for Sword and Shield yet? I don't know. They dropped a trailer anyway, but hey, it's coming. That's pretty cool that they're throwing it to the audience, and yeah, good on Pokemon for throwing it out. I mean, that's a franchise that will go until the end of time. It's going to go to the end of time. But good on them for getting the people involved, man. That's what people are screaming for. They want to be more involved in this kind of stuff. So, good on them, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Over. Back to you. I'm going to handball it back to you for your honourable mentions, man.
All right, cool, man. So I've got 2 honourable mentions. So, of course, the first honourable mention I want to talk about, again, cuts back to Rocket League. So this weekend, April 13th and 14th, every 3 months we have RFLAN. And I usually attend, so I'll be attending RFLAN this weekend. I go on there and I get involved in the Rocket League tournament that goes on. So RFLAN is usually based around the local LAN tournament. So it's mainly it's Rainbow Six Siege. There's Counter Strike. There's be Fortnite. Only the last one was the first Fortnite one. PUBG was in there as well. Rocket League's a big one in there. League of Legends is probably the most popular tournament that goes on. What's it? Hearthstone. Hearthstone? Yeah, Hearthstone. Hearthstone? What's it called? Hearthstone? I don't know. But
Dark Throne?
No. Hearthstone Throne. Game of Stone Thrones. Throne the game of Stone Thrones.
Throwing stones.
Throwing stones at your Game of Thrones. I don't know. Something like that. So they're Minecraft, all that sort of stuff. So I go there and I represent my Rocket League crew and all that sort of stuff. I'm making it sound like I'm more professional than what actually really is. No. But no, I go down and I play some Rocket League with some other people, try and jump into a couple of tournaments down there and stuff like that, meet new people that play Rocket League, and all that sort of jazz, man. So, so I'll be attending that this weekend. That's always good fun, and I'll probably put up some pictures on my Twitter. Usually they've got people around there with cameras. I'm yet to get one of those awesome pictures of me with my headphones in, and I've got that concentration game face on when I'm trying to play a game, and I want that to put in my profile picture. And I'm hoping for that to happen. But that's this weekend, April 13th and 14th, a 24-hour event from 9am Saturday to 9am Sunday. All spectators are free. They've got a lot of retro stuff down there as well, so which is really, really cool. And of course, my final honourable mention, which is sort of history in the making. Just today, they have put the latest patch for the PlayStation PSN network, which I've pretty much just said that anyway. PlayStation PSN network, which is PlayStation Network, whatever. You can now change your name. So you couldn't do that before.
Time.
Yeah, man, you couldn't. 5 years in the making, you couldn't do that before.
Here's another little story for you talking about that. I was trying to set my PSN name originally before it was Jason616, and I was like, it wasn't taking anything I was doing. I was like, this must be broken, like it's not working. So I just wrote in anything, and it went, this has been accepted. I was like, oh no. I was literally Jason Egg.
Yeah, right.
That was my name. Could you imagine Jason Egg Gaming? Just no. Yeah,
exactly.
So
that's what I mean.
could have done that back in the day.
5 years ago, you're gonna have these little 11, 12-year-old kids, call themselves Pikachu, Mewtwo, or something, or I don't know, that call themselves some little cute name. I love ducks or something. Now they're 17. They're going to be changing their names to your mum's buns, your lasagna, or something. I don't know. So there's all going to be random name changes.
I'm going to stick with mine.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with not Jason. That one went to the keeper. I just started brand new.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So all that sort of stuff, man. But, mate, I am pretty much all out of news, mate. Whatever else you got to tell me, mate? What else have you got?
All right, well, it's good to... All right, so before I finish off my fun fact, I've got Ranker, which people are allowed to go on, and it's like the people's choice where they can vote for their... the greatest fighting games of all time. So I've got the top 25, so I'll run through some of these. I'll be interested to see how many of these we've actually played, because this isn't just retro, this is from when fighting games came out to now. So anything can be on this. So coming at 25 was Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. So I never played that myself. Coming in at 24 was Mortal Kombat X. So people did enjoy the recent game that had come out. So I'm sure 11 is meant to be topping that. So it was pretty damn good. 23 Darkstalkers on the PlayStation. Never really heard of it. Never played it. Don't know it. 22 was Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
No.
So if Tekken Tag Tournament 2 fitted in at 22, I'm pretty sure Tekken Tag Tournament, the original one, will be somewhere up higher.
Yeah.
It just has to be because it's damn good. 21, MK Trilogy. Damn good. Super Smash Bros. Number 4 was at 20. Mortal Kombat on the PS3. Again, a lot of MK at 19. Soul Calibur 4 came in at 18. 17 Soul Calibur. 16 X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Never gave much of a crap for that. I'm not a superheroes guy. Maybe I'm just biased. Followed by Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Street Fighter Alpha 3. 13 Tekken 5. 12 Tekken 3. So Tekken 3 came in at 12, which shocked me because we spoke about that last week. And we said it was one of the Tekken games that just really made Tekken stand out. So, that shocks me that Tekken 3 isn't even in the top 10. But I was happy to see it. Number 11, Killer Instinct came in. So people are still rating Killer Instinct all these years later. That was a 94 release as well. So damn cool. There you go. At number 10, Tekken Tag Tournament. So it's fought for its place. Some of these I don't understand looking at the top 10. Number 9, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. How?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. 8, Street Fighter 4. 7 was the original Smash Bros. 6 was Smash Bros. Brawl, which I think was... Brawl was on the Wii, wasn't it?
Could have been.
Yeah. The original MK got placed number 5. So top 5. Here we go. So MK. Then 4 was Soul Calibur 2, which was pretty damn good. 3 was Mortal Kombat 2. Number 2 has Super Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube, which was a hell of a game. And number 1 was Street Fighter 2. It just takes it out. And it probably always will. But a few of them shocked me. Like, there was a few, Marvel, Capcom kind of fighting games. And, I was just like, what the hell? Like, I didn't expect these to kind of rate as high as they did. I mean, there's a few missing from there, definitely. DOAs. Where's DOA?
Yeah, true.
And, there's, Streets of Rage and some of the older stuff like that. Even, look, you mentioned Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, Virtua Fighter, Battle Arena, Toshinden. All these games are pretty good. I mean, definitely could have quite... I mean, but then again, I can't really say that because I never played any of the Capcom versus Marvel. I guess they must have been epic. I mean, not only that, didn't... I'm surprised that some of the Dragon Ball Z one, a couple of Dragon Ball Z ones that get mentioned.
I know, it was a really weird list for me. Like, I was like, wow, some of these, one that I really loved, and I'm not surprised it wasn't really up there high rated, and that's Clay Fighter. Clay Fighter was great fun.
Yeah, I remember Clay Fighter. That was a good game.
Yeah, I actually picked up a cartridge of that, man. No kidding, I picked up Clay Fighter. I was stoked. $10.
Yeah.
$10.
So the failed Kung Fu Master that was in there was pretty funny.
Well, the funny thing about... yeah, I know. And Blue Suede Goo.
Yeah, that's right.
But the Clay Fighter really did something special, man, because they did the claymation in the arcades. And the funny thing is they came out and they thought they could give Street Fighter a run for their money. You've got a set of balls to strap on to say we're going to take on Street Fighter. Like, Jesus Christ. But, nothing's ever going to top Street Fighter 2. It was a hell of a fighting game. And it always will be, man. But, a lot of Mortal Kombats came in the lower part, other than the first one, I got 5. But the first one wasn't that great to me, But, each to their own, I guess. But that's the people's choice, man. That's where some of those games have come in. And like you said, a few of them shock you. Like, Dragon Ball Z fighting games, you thought they would have been there somewhere as well.
Hmm.
But hey, that's people like different stuff. If you were to go by units sold, that list would be completely different.
This is true.
But
This is true. Yeah.
hey, there you go. But that's all my news for today.
Nice, man. So you're going to finish off with what's with fun facts.
What happened today in gaming? So the 11th of April. So we're going to go back 11 years, man. 2008.
Okay.
Today in gaming was the release on the Nintendo Wii of Mario Kart.
Nintendo Wii of Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart Wii came out. That's 11 years ago
11
now.
years ago. That's gone pretty quick. Feels like it was only. I feel like only the Nintendo Wii only came out about 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah.
I know, but the Wii was really cool with Mario Kart because that was the first one to up the ante because they brought speed to that game. It became chaotic. It became chaotic. They went from 8 people in the race to 12, and it was just so fast paced for its time. Even now, man, like I know you got Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart whatever, but Mario Kart Wii was that battle mode was just absolute bedlam.
Yeah.
It was something else. But yeah, it's hard to believe that was freaking 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? How has time gone so quickly?
Yeah, I know, man. I know. It's strikes me, mate. It absolutely strikes me. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about gaming. Games are timeless. We'll age, and then, of course, in 10, 15 years' time, we'll always have that awesome moment of having that nostalgia rush of playing old school games. You remind me of another game I used to play when I remember playing Super Nintendo. I was thinking about it the other day. I remember playing Unirally on Super Nintendo. That was a great game. Oh, did you ever play Unirally?
I think I have.
Where you're a unicycle and you go through like weird obstacle course and you're trying to get the fastest time and you're trying to race your mates as well. Which was really cool. So that was a great game. You could do tricks as well. That's right. You could do trick. You make it spin. You could do backflips and get points for landing tricks and stuff. Unirally. Oh, that was a great game. Really loved that game.
There's some of these that even I still don't know of or heard of, and it's crazy to think,
Had great music as well. I might YouTube it later. Actually, go for a bit of a trip down memory lane. Check it out. But YouTube Unirally, man, that was an awesome game. Really loved it. It was awesome.
Yeah, man, that's it. I mean, it's crazy to think, 11 years. Like, what the hell? And some of these classic games that you even mentioned now, it's like, man, I've got to get my hands on them and have a look at some of them.
Yeah. You know what? You know what's really funny is that we're around about that age, and even for some of the more older people, maybe one of us, since I like your fun facts, this day in gaming thing, maybe one of us can come up with a do you feel old yet little topic. This game was released in this year, this game was released in this year, and this game was released in this year, so maybe we could do do you feel old yet? That'd be pretty cool.
Man. Alright, well, I don't mind doing my facts on the podcast. If you want to do your do you feel old yet?
Yeah. Right. Let's do it.
I'll throw it to you.
Let's do it. Cool.
We each have a little segment. We each have something to throw in there that might not be exactly on topic, but still is, if that makes any sense.
Alright, no, I think that's cool, man. So, but I guess, apart from that, mate, I'm ready to wrap this up, buddy. Are you?
Yeah, man, let's wrap it up. So
excellent,
it's been
mate.
Good fun, man, and
yeah, man.
We definitely need to keep people updated on some of the things that got coming out. That we'll have to keep updated with the Sega Mini, the Sega Mini, and like you said, you're going to keep an eye on what was it that was coming out soon. Oh, we're shocking. Well, you have to keep us updated with how you go on the weekend with Rocket League, anyway.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I mean, like with the Star Wars thing, like if that's really exciting, mate. We might do another podcast on Monday or something like that if you're available. And if I'm excited about the Star Wars thing and that blows up, we've got to cover it because I'll know if that blows up because all the news guys will be doing something. Who knows? Maybe Sunday we can maybe get a little podcast together on Sunday. You know what I mean, and try and do something and try and cover some of the news, because if that blows up on Saturday, wouldn't mind being one of the first to try and get it out there on what we know, and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
But apart from that, man, look, mate, let's wrap this up. Like I said, mate, it's been a real pleasure, buddy. So, guys, like and subscribe, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts on some of the latest news. Don't forget to go check out Jason616's channel.
And NasG as well.
Of course.
Check out NasG Game Players, man.
NasG's
the host of the show.
Yes, mate. Definitely, man. I mean, they're both good. Have us both on loudspeaker, at the same time, and
just... You know what? Just get 2 monitors, get 2 headsets, put one headphone in each ear.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Go for it.
Just go nuts.
You know you want to. Just click on right now.
It's
go
your
into description
meditation.
Below.
So, guys, you are all up to date on the latest PC and console gaming news, and of course all the latest inside information on some of the best retro and Nintendo news as well. But apart from that, guys, stay real, stay focused, clean those ears up, and we'll see you all in the next JayNAS podcast. See you guys.
Catch ya.